The Mets and Rangers make a super interesting trade that might leave a key player available that the Mariners might want to take a look at. And then also, I want to talk about Luis Castillo. I want to talk about his situation, the contract situation. How good is he? And should we trade him? Should we not? What's a scenario that you would want to trade him? All that good stuff. Hi, guys. Welcome to Mariners Daily, podcast for the thinking Mariners fan, episode 49 of the show. My name is Sam Edwards. Thanks so much for joining me on this episode. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that is watching, liking the video, subscribing to the channel to not miss any of the upcoming offseason news for the Mariners. And somebody that wants a deep dive, give a little deep dive on some players and you know, figure out what they're actually doing on the field because we can't watch every single game, right? And especially for not for the Rangers and Mets as well. Interesting trade here. Marcus Semien for Brandon Nimmo. The Mets are also sending $5 million along with Brandon Nimmo to offset a little bit of the contract that Nimmo has. Let's cover him first. Brandon Nimmo is about to be 33 years old, 652 plate appearances this past season, 25 home runs, 13 stolen bases. The walk percentage has dipped to a 7.7%. And while that doesn't sound super low, for the player that Nimmo used to be, that is low. Only a 21.6 K percentage, which is nice. A 174 isolated power. He hit 262 with a 324 on base and a 436 slugging percentage. 329 WOBA, 321 expected WOBA, 114 runs created plus, and a 3 F WAR on the season. F WAR meaning Fangraphs version of WAR, which is my preferred uh, version of WAR over Baseball Reference. So 3-win season, not bad. Played majority left field this past year. Slightly below average, -1 fielding run value overall, which is 47th percentile. He's got about an average arm strength, slightly below average range, -1 outs above average this past year, which is 42nd percentile. Does fill a hole that Adolis Garcia, guy that I just talked about last week, or no, sorry, yesterday. I talked about him yesterday. But yeah, it's a great replacement for Adolis Garcia, honestly. Not as good defensively, I would say, but definitely fits in right with what the Rangers need. They need to keep production up while also cutting some cash in the short term, and that is what this deal does. Nimmo's contract, well, we'll get there. We'll get to both guys' contracts. Semien is interesting. He is 35 years old, a little bit older. 534 plate appearances this past year, which does sound like a good amount, is a good 200 plate appearances less than what we've consistently seen from Semien. And also one of the big reasons why he was as valuable as he was. Pardon. Oh, oof. So Simeon, a little bit older, and it looks like he's getting a little bit less durable, which is to be expected. 534 plate appearances this past year, 15 home runs, 11 stolen bases, a 9.4 walk percentage, and a 17.4 K percentage. So pretty good marks right there. It's not like he's been, swinging outside of the zone a whole lot more than he used to. However, he's a below average hitter right now. 230 batting average, a 305 on base, and a 364 slugging percentage. 295 WOBA, a slightly better 317 expected WOBA. Maybe we see a slight improvement from Semien going to the Mets. Change of scenery. I don't know. Mets tend to have a more pitcher friendly park uh, than the Rangers do, especially. An 89 runs created plus for Simeon this past year, 2.1 F4, mostly carried by his defense. A 6 fielding run value this past year, playing second base, which is 82nd percentile, and a 7 outs above average, which is 92nd percentile, and his arm strength is not great, 11th percentile there. So it's an interesting trade because you never see these types of names get traded, You never, and especially if you do, then it's usually just a money dump or whatever. And it is kind of a money dump in a weird way. Simeon is owed $72 million over the next 3 seasons, which are remaining from his 7-year, $175 million deal that he signed with the Rangers way back in 2021. Pardon me. He signed back in 2021. Nimmo has 5 years left on his deal, 5 years, $101 million. Now, they threw in $5 million to the Mets to offset a little bit, but there is still like a good $20 million difference, at least $25 million difference between Simeon's total contract and Nimmo's total contract, uh, which it runs through 2030. So he's got 5 years left. I this is a money dump for both teams, and I'm gonna tell you why that makes sense. Simeon's getting paid more per year, but only has 3 years, 72 million left on the deal. So long term, the Mets are saving money because they owe him less. However, in the short term, Nimmo is getting paid less per year, plus the $5 million as well to help a little bit the Rangers. The Rangers are paying more long term, but they're paying less short term. They came into this offseason trying to cut payroll, and that is what this is. They're cutting payroll while trying to keep production, which generally seems a little impossible, but this deal makes it look possible. And the only way this is possible is because you have a team that is run by Steve Cohen on the New York Mets. What do I mean? The only way that a deal like this is possible, that you are able to trade a guy like Simeon, who's he's making more than what he deserves. Not a great contract right now, but and you're willing to take on a Nimmo contract because you want to keep production overall on the team. And you have guys that can play second base. You got Ezekiel Duran and one other name on the Rangers that I can't remember right now. Uh, they can play second base. You just got rid of Adolis Garcia. You can plug in Nimmo straight away in left field. You've got Evan Carter still there. You've got guys that are filling roles for you, and Simeon is kind of expendable, and you're okay paying enough for Nimmo because it does save you money in the short term, and it plugs in left field with a good player. Which, like I said, I mean, 114 runs created plus is nothing amazing. 3 WAR season, like it's good enough. It's good enough. 25 homers, 13 stolen bases. Those are nice numbers. Not an amazing slash line, but he's a positive player for sure. And the Mets, the reason that this is so rare is because the Mets are looking to do something bigger. They're okay spending money. They're okay because they're run by Steve Cohen, you know? They're okay taking on a contract like Marcus Simeon's in the short term because they know now they can spend even more money in the long term. And everybody's saying it. I believe it too. I think they're going to target one of the outfielders that's available right now, Cody Bellinger, or possibly Kyle Tucker. Gonna get a freaking bag, dude. And to get him and Juan Soto, oh my goodness. The Mets are crazy. Steve Cohen's crazy. I love it. He's so entertaining as an owner. Honestly, so entertaining. I would love if he took over the Mariners. That'd be amazing. Anyways, I think they're gonna go after a big free agent, honestly. But with them getting Marcus Simeon, it only makes sense that Jeff McNeil is available. He is expendable at this point for them. But he's also a utility guy. So I guess you could argue that he could, you could kind of play him anywhere. He's played majority like second base and then a little bit left field, a little center, a little right field. Basically, wherever they've needed him, that's where he's played. He's going to be 34 years old. Could the Mariners look at him? I don't know. I thought he'd be an interesting guy to just take a peek at. He's available. And also, I do want to say before I cover this, maybe I should wait for another episode. I don't know. I just want to say the third base market is very thin. Very thin. Anytime I bring up a player on this show, I inevitably get a comment about how he is not good enough offensively or not good enough defensively, or if he is good offensively, like let's say like Stephen Kwan or something, or no, not Stephen Kwan, Brendan Donovan. Let's say Brendan Donovan. Oh, he doesn't play good enough defense, or oh, he's not like he doesn't have enough power to play at third, or whatever it is. The third base market's really thin, and the Mariners are gonna have to figure it out. They're gonna have to figure out something. And for all the people that really don't like Eugenio Suarez, he's one of the best third base options out there. He is. That's just the facts. That's it. He's one of the best that's out there, that's available. We got him. We got Alex Bregman. We got the two Japanese dudes, Murakami and Okamoto. I think his name. I think that's what the name was. It the third base market's very thin. And listen, if Jeff McNeil is available, we got to take a look at it. So let's take a look at it. Like I said, will be 34 years old, so a little bit older. He's only got 1 year left on his deal, $12.5 million, which I could see the Mets being willing to eat a little bit of that if they're gonna get a little something in return, which I'm okay with that for 1 year from Jeff McNeil. It's fine. He played 462 plate appearances this past year, 12 home runs, three stolen bases, a 10.6 walk percentage, very nice. Only an 11.9 K percentage. He's a high contact guy that did not have a super high batting average. I should say, excuse me, super high batting average, a 243 batting average this past season, a 335 on base, and a 411 slugging percentage, a 111 runs created plus, so slightly above average, not bad. 2.1 F4 on the season. He was about average defensively at first base. Sorry, second base. Second base. He played mostly second base and then played a little bit of outfield, like I said. He's average, zero fielding run value, 49th percentile overall, two outs above average per the range, which is 76th percentile, which is not bad. And not an amazing arm strength, but about average, 83.7 arm strength, which is 45th percentile. Honestly, I think he's slightly above average defensively, no matter what fielding run value says. Like almost average arm strength and then decent range. It's not bad. Does he fit on this Mariners team, though? He's a high contact guy, which is nice, but it's not like he hit for a high batting average, 243 batting average. He's a good walks guy. He's going to get the job done. But then again, I feel like we have younger, better options for that. Leo Rivas can fit that role. Ryan Bliss can fit that role. Cole Young, obviously, who knows? But he's also has had good discipline coming up through the minors, so who knows? McNeil just has proven himself in the majors to be an above average hitter, and that's what we don't have. So another option at second base is nice. I don't know if I want Jeff McNeil playing full time at third base, but then also, what is the alternative? Is it just running Ben Williamson out there every fifth? Sorry, not every fifth day, running him out there every day, like almost every other day? Makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. And if that's the case, then we need to make some improvements somewhere else offensively because yes, Williamson will improve our defense, but the hit on offense is gonna be a little rough. It's gonna be rough. It's not a game changer. It's not going to ruin our season or anything, but I think we need another bat. And I think everybody would agree with that. It's just where do we find it? Because like I said, the third base market is fairly thin, and I might do a little deep dive coming up over these next couple days. Might do a little deep dive on what the third base market actually looks like these days. So we'll see. It's interesting. Jeff McNeil, let me know what you guys think. Could he be an option for the Mariners? I'm not saying as a starter. Like I said, played 460 plate appearances this past year. He's not a starter every day. He's coming in whenever you need him. He can play wherever you want him. He can play left field if you want to give Rosarena, day off his feet and get him to DH so we don't have to watch him in left field. Like McNeil can play a variety of different positions, which is nice. I don't think he fits perfectly on this team. I think some moves would need to be made, but I think he's an option. He's an option. Yeah. Not that big. But let me know if you really want him. I'd be really curious. If you really want Jeff McNeil, I'd love to hear why. Love to hear what you think the plan should be because there's so many different ways to go about this. And that's kind of why I'm so open to and that's why I want to hear your guys' viewpoints. I want to hear your guys' discussion because there's so many different ways to go about this offseason for the Mariners. There's so many different things that can go down that I want to hear what you guys think because I have my ways of thinking, but I it's not necessarily the right way. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Luis Castillo. He's a guy that feels like he's kind of in limbo right now, and he's just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. So I kind of want to take a little picture of the situation. Let's assess Luis Castillo here. He signed a 5-year, $108 million extension back before the 2023 season, a couple years ago. AAV is a $21.6 million. He does have so he signed through 2027, so he's got 2 more years on the deal. He does have a 2028 vesting option if he pitches 180 innings or more in 2027, which I don't think is going to happen just because of his age, and I think they're going to like probably if he's still in the Mariners, they're going to manipulate it in some way. I'm sure to make sure that he doesn't get a vesting option for another year, depending on how good he is. Honestly, too. Let's talk about performance. Past 2 seasons, he has been good. He's not been the ace. He hasn't needed to be the ace, which is great. But he's just not getting the swings and misses on his slider and changeup like he used to. 2024, it was 175 and a third innings pitched, a 24.3 K percentage, which is the big difference between uh 2024 and 2025. A 6.5 walk percentage in 2024, 1.28 home runs per nine for Castillo, a 3.64 ERA, and a 3.91 FIP. So coming into 2025, I was definitely nervous, definitely scared to see what we were going to get from Castillo. 2025 came and it wasn't that scary, but it was also still scary. 180 and 2/3 innings pitched for 2025, a 21.7 K percentage. That's a good 3% drop in K percentage, which is not great. 6.2 walk percentage, which is slightly lower than 2024 if you're keeping track. 1.15 home runs per nine, slightly less homers. 3.54 ERA, right in line with what we saw. 3.88 FIP, right in line with what we saw. So maybe he found a cruise point, or maybe that K percentage drop is a sign that he is going to be slowly deteriorating. Deteriorating might be a bad move, but slowly, getting worse. And I don't want to watch that happen on the Mariners personally. And I know Jerry Dipoto is the type of guy that can't sit still, which we both have in common. So I feel like Castillo could easily be traded, and I know a lot of people throw him in trades for like a much bigger pitcher like Tarek Skubal. I don't think he's that good. I think he's a good, serviceable number 3, number 4 starting pitcher on a contending team. I don't think any other team out there sees him as the ace or even a number 2 on a team, really. If you really want to contend, you're getting Castillo to be your number 3, number 4, personally, especially for the amount of money that he's being paid. We'd have to eat some cash for that. I just don't think he actually holds a lot of trade value. Now, as a team as a whole, if we did trade Castillo, we would still have Wu, we'd have Kirby, we'd have Gilbert, we'd have Bryce Miller, I do expect to have a rebound season, finally healthy this coming season. Hopefully. Hopefully, hopefully, hopefully. The fifth option as of right now would be Emerson Hancock. I don't love that. I don't love it. We got Randy Dobnak in AAA now, so like maybe he's an option, but it's it's not great, and we would need to sign at least one quality starter, in my opinion. Which there are a decent amount of starters out there that I think the Mariners could do something with. It's not a bad market for starting pitching, which is why you would trade a guy like Luis Castillo. But he is still good. I mean, like I said, 3.64 ERA in 2024, 3.54 in 2025. He's a good player still. So we just gonna try and trade him? Are we not a contending team? What are the scenarios? This is my final point. What are the scenarios that would make you consider trading Castillo. Would we have to get something really good in return? And if that's the case, then I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be part. If we do make a big trade, I don't really think he's a part of it. And if he is, he's a very small part of it. If we make a big deal, it's because we traded two of our top 10 prospects, at least two of our top 10 prospects, and then Luis Castillo's in there as well. Maybe he offsets cash or something like that. But I don't think he is a key piece in any trade. And if he is, it's because we're not getting much in return, and he is he's the big player that's getting traded in the deal, and it's just because we want to cut cash. That's what I well, not cut cash, but like save that cash to use it somewhere else. So if he is a salary dump, if we want to just get his money off the books, I would need to see that money allocated somewhere else to get a good hitter. I would need to see Suarez come back. I would need to see Bregman come back. Sorry, come back. I need to see Bregman come here, period, which would be definitely weird, but would be kind of fun to see him versus the Astros on our team. But yeah, that's what I would need to see. I would need to see a another big bat addition, and then we'd need another starter as well. So, and pitching can get expensive as well. So I don't even know if the money saving is like will net out in the end, but it will hopefully get us another hitter in that scenario. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I keep seeing him getting thrown in these huge trades. I don't think he's that valuable. I don't think teams see him as super valuable. That's just me. I think we saw a slow regression this past year, and maybe we trade him now before he really starts to show his true colors and he's a 4 ERA. Which is not the end of the world, but it definitely you're not getting anything for him then. He's barely even a salary dump then. So I think you could still maybe dump most of his salary right now. You're not getting much in return. You're just getting flexibility money wise. But I would need to see that flexibility used. Having payroll flexibility is not useful if you're not going to spend the money. It's not useful to me. It's not. So let me know what you guys think about Luis Castillo, the possibility of trading him. I would love to hear your thoughts on Jeff McNeil. Could he be an option for the Mariners? Do we already have too many second base options, anyways? There's different ways to skin this cat, man, and he's a depth option. He could be interesting. So let me know what you think, and let me know what you think of this Mets Rangers trade. It's just very weird. It's very weird. I do think it could be a win-win for both teams, unless the Mets don't spend the money, unless the Mets don't get the big player. If they don't really, keep their foot on the gas, then I'd be weirded out. Then I'd be a little. It would give me a moment of pause. I know they have a top prospect coming in the outfield soon, so maybe that's a reason why they wouldn't. But I don't know. Like they're the Mets and they're supposed to spend big, so we'll see. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on Mariners Daily. Have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.